does not have to be a new year, a new you. It just has to be a healthier you in the new year, you guys. Make sure you check down below in the description box where you can find the links to TLC products, including the ISOT, the NutriBurst, the Life Drops, the Resolution Drops. There's just so many things there to help you in burning fat and staying healthy. There's even the new immune tea, which I'm going to order. So I can't wait to try that. And I hope they get the sea moss back. But I do love the sea moss from Mint and Ocean. I'm sorry, it's supposed to be a commercial. Yes, okay? Get those TLC products from me. And do not forget that my biggest life change has been through Kiara LASHAE, Team LASHAE, ifyoucanmove.com. You guys get cute little outfits from Peja and Amari. You also check out Just Move supplements because she is helping us with the energy. Okay, this is the energy supplement. Love it. Okay, just got my protein. Gonna get me some after I work out. So yeah, y'all, down below in the description box, support. So you guys are always asking me where I get my glasses from. So I thought I would finally give y'all a real little ad, okay? Firmoo, I can't see, bitch. Okay, I'm just playing. I'm just joking. These are my new Firmoo glasses here. Super cute, right? They are prescription because I'm like totally blind. And I got these matte ones that I think are really dope. And I felt like they would go good with the fact that I no longer have hair. You know what I'm saying? But either way, you guys can use my link and give me credit. And get you some glasses from Firmoo. Come on in. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I'm weird. Whatever.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondi Blue. So let's go ahead. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondi Blue. Okay, follow me on Instagram and let's get into the video, right?
Hey everybody, what's up? My eyelash is like turned down in my eye and I'm hella annoyed about it. But you know what? We're gonna get through it anyway. This is Love and Hip Hop Family Reunion. Please don't forget to share this video. Share this video. Share this video. Share this video. Thank you. So, Scrappy, y'all. The episode starts off with the last one left off, which is with Scrappy about to, prophesize. He gonna get up here, he gonna talk about the Lord. He gonna step into his Daryl Sr. shoes. Y'all know that, Daryl's daddy, Daryl Sr., is a pastor. All right, they do counseling, him and his wife. And, he steps into those shoes, because he feels the closest to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And so Scrappy gets up there and tells his story, and he's being long-winded, and everybody's drunk and wants to go back to their rooms to masturbate, hunch, and go to sleep. Whatever, if they're alone or if they're with somebody, however that goes. Mama D gets up to sing, I surrender. Ooh, Okay, she sang a little ditty for everybody. Fizzle Pop said he was feeling it. She had on a hat. She had on gloves. She had on a prom dress. I didn't know what was going on, but the shoulders didn't feel church lady-esque. Let's move along. So everybody laughing and clapping, even though she was, off a bit on the key. But like we said, before we came here for church, everybody was drinking. Then Mendeecees gets up in his little, fruit stripe jacket so he can testify and tell people he was basically groomed to be a drug dealer from the time he was born. Okay, the 80s was a hard time. Whenever somebody that's black says the 80s was a hard time, it means their parents were probably on crack. That's funny, but it's not. But because he said it, and I felt like it was a nice way of trying to say that Trout Mouth Judy was out here doing crack and left me and my little brother to fend for ourselves at a very young age. Judy was uncomfortable. Judy was upset. Judy felt like she needed to stand up and defend herself against the testimonial that Mendeecees was giving about his life. And we all got aggravated and upset with Judy. Because Judy, honey, I know it's upsetting, but you cannot get upset that he had to go through a trial and a tribulation that's linked to you and your drug use, bitch. You were his mama. And then, like, when they actually talked about it, she was like, so your grandmama wasn't across the street? And he had to explain in front of all these people that I wasn't old enough to know what across the street meant. And so to me, the fact that she still in her mind thinks that what she did was okay and makes excuses about all the people who are around them but who was in the house with them? I'm trying not to call Judy a bitch, because Mendeecees is coming from the place of feeling like his mom has, triumphed over all of this, and he's proud of her, and she's the latest, the greatest inspiration. Keep on building me up higher. That's the place he's in with it. But the truth of the matter is, it is fucked up that you left Lil Mendeecees and his brother to fend for themselves at an age where they were too young. Like, who leaves their children in a house alone like everybody around them gonna figure? No, bitch. If people aren't in the house with your kid, they're not gonna be worried about your kid. Like, that upset me so much that to this day, she is like explaining away abandoning them with, oh, such and such was around, and such was across the street, and such was next door. Who was in the house with Lil Mendeecees? Mendeecees said she left us in the house without food for days. That really upset me, because she got the audacity to be upset. Sit in that shit, bitch. That's who you were. That's who you were. That's what you did. Sit in that shit. But don't get mad at Mendeecees for that being a part of his story. If you didn't think leaving him in a house alone to fend for himself was a reasonable thing to do, he wouldn't have this story to tell. That's not reasonable. That's not okay. That's not okay. People who are listening to me, just in case you did not know, it is not okay to leave your kids in the house by themselves for days at a time. I know some of y'all be having a hard time. Y'all ain't got nobody to watch y'all kid and all of that, and y'all got to go to work. That's not what she did. That's not what she did. We're not talking to y'all. We're not talking about the girl who got her kids taken away because she went down, to the job to work and left the kids in a motel for a little while and then went back to the motel and the police was there and eventually they put up a GoFundMe for her and help her get the kids back and all that. Because that's somebody that don't have help, but that's trying to work to take care of their kids. That's not the same thing as somebody being out here looking for crack and leaving their kids in the house to fend for themselves for days. Don't that remind? Remember on Bebe's Kids, babe? Remember on Bebe's Kids? That shit was so sad. Remember he went back up there and what he did, he gave him $10 to order some pizza and then he left. That's what most people do. They look at it and they be like, this sad, but this ain't my responsibility. And they throw the kid a couple of dollars or even just be like, all right, I'm going to see where y'all mama at. And then leave them there to still be by themselves. Kids should not be by themselves like that, Judy. And the fact that you was like making excuses, that shit really made me mad. And I think it made Yandy mad too. Like, I think Yandy was more upset on Mendeecees' behalf. And it kind of reminded me of you, babe. It kind of reminded me of you. Y'all, my husband is off camera and I'm putting his business on blast. This wasn't his life like that, okay? Like, no, Lyric's mom was there every day. Don't get me wrong, okay? Just to be clear. But I felt that way in a way where it's like, you know that you had something that your spouse didn't get. And you see them always trying to like make excuses or not really say what it is because they want to like be easy about it. But the truth of the matter is still the truth of the matter. You know what I'm saying? And you hurt for them and you mad for them in a way that they aren't for themselves because they live in a space of having to care about their parents' feelings constantly when you worrying about their feelings. You know what I'm saying? And in that moment, I ain't gonna lie, I was just kind of like, damn, Yandy, I know exactly how you feel in this moment. It be upsetting sometimes. But you just got to let them figure it out on their own because it's not your cross to bear. The only thing you can do is, be there in supportive measures. But I definitely feel like Mendeecees and Judy need to have a conversation because the fact that she explained that shit away the way she did makes me feel like she don't know the severity of the situation. And that's a problem to me, that you don't know the severity of leaving your kids in the house by themselves for days at a time to the point where Mendeecees' memory is being hungry. You know what I'm saying? And then when Yandy and Erica went and talked, and Erica having her own personal experience with her mom being on drugs, her having to, she said, I remember eating butter and sugar. She was like, I can remember my mama trying to tell me what my story was. And I was like, you can't tell me that I wasn't in that house starving and eating butter and sugar because there wasn't nothing else in the house because you was out somewhere getting high off crack. Okay? So when people say the 80s was a tough time, that is what the fuck they mean. I starved because my parents wanted to be out here doing crack. Okay? And so I just was like, damn. And everybody forgets that's why Erica's so hard. You know what I'm saying? Erica had a hard childhood. Even if people eventually got to her, that's not the same thing, you know, as not having the damage be done at all, you know? And then Yandy was crying about the way, you know, Judy treats her and blaming her. And I'm like, that's because Judy's always projecting onto you. Judy sees that you there for them kids every day, and she feels bad because she wasn't there for Mendeecees like that. So now that she can't, you know, she can't rewind time and get that time back, she gets mad at Yandy and blames Yandy, you know, for getting all of her son's love and attention. But it's like, bitch, y'all have two different roles in his life, and the time for you to be a mother has passed, and you have got to let that go. You are no longer his mother. Y'all not gonna have no, you know, mother-son time where he's away from his wife and kids for a whole day or something like that, 2 days. You know, nobody's going on vacations just with their mama. Like, that's not happening. That time is over for y'all. You know what I mean? Which she wants from Mendeecees anyway. But when Yandy was crying about how I tried so hard with this lady and she always coming at me no matter what I do, that reminded me of the way she went at Jim Jones and Chrissy about the situation with Mama Jones and how Mama Jones was. I mean, she gave Chrissy a book on how she could be a better daughter-in-law, as if you can be a better daughter-in-law to some of these, you know, crazy old bitches that's, you know, trying to have this energy over their children because they weren't there the way. It's all the same if you notice. They all be overbearing in their child's adult years because they weren't there for them when they were children like they were supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? But Scrappy had a conversation where he talked about it. You know what I'm saying? He was like, you know, him and his sister have actually talked to Mama D though. They've had these conversations, and Mama D has had to like sit in the fact that she did that shit. It may not have been the best, but it's what she did. And because they've had these conversations, they both understand each other's side. Scrappy talks about how when he was growing up, their house was a brothel. Like me and my sister sleeping in the bed with my mama because the hose is in our bedroom with some nigga. Like, that's not a life for a kid. That's not nothing the kid should ever have to deal with, bruh. You know what I'm saying? And I think the way Scrappy, Mendeecees, Erica go about their kids as the counteract to their childhoods, I think it's beautiful. It's terrible, but I also think it's beautiful that they feel the need to be the opposite of that instead of being like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so often that people who had shitty parents turn out to be shitty parents. And in all of them, they did the opposite of what they felt like their parents did for them. And I think that's a blessing for it to go that way, you know. But also, Scrappy has a moment where he sits down and talks to Erica and Bambi. He talked to Erica first, and then he brought Bambi over, and they had this come to Jesus moment. And basically just, you know, everybody's grown up. We don't want to be confrontational. We don't want to fight. We don't want to argue. We want to get past it. So let's get past it. And I like that he said it took them talking to each other for him to realize that he needed to step it up and come to the table and have that conversation as well. So it was very needed, and I do think that that was like the good time for them to have that conversation. If they would have tried to have the conversation before, it may not have went as well as it did, you know, because I think seeing Erica and Bambi talk made him feel like, okay, Erica may not be on bullshit, because if she not going at Bambi in no negative way, then she may not come at me in a negative way, so we can talk. So it was great that they finally did that, because Lord knows E-Money don't need all of this negativity in her life, okay? Get it together for E-Money. So the next day, Jock does his little radio show from his laptop. I was like, I love it. Child, post-pandemic, everybody doing their job from anywhere, okay? April tries, okay, call herself working out with the Mucinex monster. And I don't know why. I don't know why they keep doing this. We all know that Trick is being a nasty old man that don't nobody who look like April want to touch with a 10-foot pole, trying to flirt with her. And then when she, you know, is not reciprocating, then all of a sudden you want to tell her that she ain't the trainer type, you know, or she not good enough to be a trainer. Like, you talk down to women to make yourself feel better because you don't feel worthy of them, or those women have rebuffed you. So now you're going to talk down to April like she ain't shit, or all women, you know, y'all ain't this and y'all ain't. Mucinex monster, nigga, please. Boy, bye. Okay, April was trying to be nice, but feels like she about to start hating Trick like all the rest of the women in the house do. I said, child, y'all gonna get tired of letting the Mucinex monster get y'all upset because he likes to say any old dumb shit out of his old insecure ass neck. Ain't nobody got time for that. So Scrappy and Mendeecees talk, and Scrappy was like, I felt like your mom cut you off and I want to let you finish. So you want to have a conversation, you know? Especially because Scrappy looks up to Mendeecees. Y'all, this moment was like a lot for me. Because two things. I love both of these niggas. But I also feel like I like the fact that both of them are almost ideal for like what black women like. You know what I'm saying? We're hood, but emotional and smart. You know what I'm saying? They got their issues. But Mendeecees and Scrappy like tend to be some of the most problematic, least problematic niggas on the show. Like, for lack of, like, they don't make you want to stab them like Ray J or the Mucinex Monster, or even Lil Fizzle Pop for that matter, you know? And Jock is more so along these lines, but Jock, even though he has lived in the streets, is not of the streets in the same way that I find Mendeecees and Scrappy, but specifically with Mendeecees, you know? Mendeecees kind of made me feel away when he talked about somebody putting drugs in his hand at 6. Like, I've seen my nephew at 6, and if somebody ever put my nephew in that situation at 6, I would want to kill them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit made me mad when he talked about that, and it made me feel like, how much room did you leave for people to do this to your son? You know what I'm saying? Like, how much could you not be around for somebody to put drugs in your 6-year-old's hands? You know what I'm saying? Not your like 13-year-old, not your 14-year-old, your 6-year-old, which is much younger to me. You know what I'm saying? In my mind. And it just means that Judy really wasn't there for a long time to me. Like, you might have been there, bitch, but you wasn't really there. Okay? Juicy. And, you know, they continue to have their moment and talk about what their lives have been like with both of their mothers and what that has been like for them forgiving. And also, Scrappy, you know, thanks Mendeecees for talking to him because it helped him realize that he really needed to think deeper about the situation with Erica and getting that all squared away. And now everybody's good. So everybody enjoys a Trini paint party called Juve. And it was something that the slaves did in Trinidad. You know, we got to speak on our cultures. Okay, we appreciate it, child. When I tell y'all, I'm tired of seeing Carly Red with the oversized ass cheeks and them shorts and the lips that's about to fall off her face. And, child, everything just looks so swollen. I said, just keep the camera on Jasmine. Jesus Christ. She just looks so, oh, God. Carly, why did you do this to yourself? Because it's so unnecessary. Carly's beautiful. Even at 50, Carly's beautiful. This was so unnecessary. It's hard to look at sometimes, y'all. I swear for God. But anyway, they throw paint, you know, and baby powder on one another and have a good time. Yandy is avoiding Judy. So when Judy came over to kiss Mendeecees, she kind of like ran away, which I felt like was so unnecessary and childish. Like, why did you need to do that? I know you're trying to avoid her, but you didn't need to do that. It just kind of drew attention to it. At some point, Judy, you know, takes over and talks about being from Guyana, I think it's Guyana. But that's in South America, which for some reason I always confuse for a country in Africa. But, I mean, there are black people there. It's warm. It ain't that different, but nah, you know, it's in South America. That is where Judy is originally from. And she talked about how, you know, back there, they didn't even have, you know, all of the things they have here in America, you know, as far as like electricity or running water all the time. Whatever the fuck she was saying, it was harder. And I think she was trying to tell her story, but she had been drinking. So there was a level to it that was drunkenly, you know, a little drunkenly going on around here, bitch. You're slipping. You know what I'm saying? Get yourself together. And Mendeecees is like, I want to go over there and get a drink. I want to go over there and take a cup from a Yandy. You know, they kind of giggling about, you know how your old folk get drunk and y'all just kind of joke about it. They trying to have a serious moment, but they slurring and shit about to fall. Somebody get her, you know. And she hears that and instantly, you know, she sees them whispering and giggling or whatever, and then instantly puts it on Yandy and says that, you know, Yandy is making him teaching him how to disrespect his mother. And it's like Yandy's teaching him to disrespect his mother. I said, let me get close. Judy, Mendeecees is like a 40-something-year-old man. If you had done your job, nobody would be able to teach Mendeecees anything. Especially when it comes to respecting his mother. Can anybody teach you to disrespect your mama? No, not even me. I wouldn't. He thinks I do, but I don't. I just think expressing yourself and being disrespectful are a fine line, but not the same thing. But you know, different conversation, different times. Either way, she tripped out in her being drunk and emotional and insecure. She puts it all on Yandy. And I'm like, why don't you have the confrontation with Mendeecees like you really want to? Mendeecees tried to talk to her after she blew up at the event. You know, he had her in a room and he sat down and tried to talk to her, and she don't want to hear it because she can't deal with the guilt. And she want to talk about how her boyfriend at the time was there. And Mendeecees was like, after y'all broke up, I never saw him again. Like, what are you talking about? Like, why are you even bringing him up like he was supposed to do something for us? Where the fuck were you? You know what I'm saying? Y'all, this is really what I have been waiting for the whole show, because I saw this in a preview that this was going to happen, and I knew that this was something we really needed to talk about, because the way Judy handles Yandy is really from that place of guilt. And she needs to get past that. She needs therapy. She needs to go talk to somebody. I don't know, but she needs to deal with that shit, because it's unnecessary stress on your family because you can't deal with the sins of your past. If you've really moved past it, then you need to be able to deal with who you were when you was on crack. Deal with it. Deal with it and be, and grow from it. Like, for instance, everybody know who Mama D used to be. Does it really matter? No. It matters, but it doesn't. It doesn't make people not love her, but it also means that you failed your kids in a way, and there's no taking that back. And I like what Trick said. Trick was like, your kids gonna remember you no matter what. Whether you gonna make them mad at you or love you. You know what I'm saying? What you do to your kids is your fault. Basically what he was saying. And I appreciate him. That was the smartest thing he said the whole episode, and he didn't say anything as smart as that after. There was nothing else to be gained from Trick from that point on. And that was at the beginning of the episode, but I kind of did it out of order because who cares? But that was basically what the whole episode was about. I thought that they were going to deal with Carly and Jasmine because they have the same issues. And they kept putting the camera on Jasmine throughout these scenes when they were talking about these things. So I was wondering if they were going to really delve deeply into it, or we was just going to skate over it and leave it there. I'm wondering. But either way, y'all, this episode was good to me because I had been waiting on this. Let's talk about it, Judy. The Lord... Let me tell you something. Judy's ancestors, Mendeecees and ancestors, the only reason why Mendeecees is okay today. Okay? Because Lord have mercy. Pray for him. But yeah, y'all, that was Love and Hip Hop family reunion. Okay? I enjoyed the episode. I hope y'all enjoyed the review. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. And I'll see y'all in the next one.